Hooah, check. Just rocked a pooah. Didn't think I was going to make it on time. It was needed. I don't know. I'm all over the place. So I need to go visit a dietitian or something.
I was going to say with your bowel movements, or just like, I don't know if that meant like I having a busy day, or lately my bowel movements have been all over the place.
I'm going to attribute it to that. It was just I had a really productive day, which I can get into. But maybe the most productive thing I did today was take a poo. I was thinking about that when I was sitting there. I was like, out of all the things I did today, this is probably the most important thing I did. Like, I basically just dumped a bunch of chemicals out of my body, right? A bunch of toxic stuff, toxic doo-doos. Yeah.
Like,
so I'll live to see another day.
Have you ever scheduled in any way, shape, or form? Have you ever scheduled a bowel movement? And what I mean by that is, most of the time, I think we all handle them as they come up. Mm-hmm. But have you ever been in a position where you're like, okay, it's about 3:00 now. I got a few things I need to do. I'm starting to feel something happen, but I think I'm going to get a more quality dump in like 2 to 3 hours. So I'm going to do some errands, and then the final errand will be to return. And I plan on taking a dump upon my return to home.
It sounds like you've trained your body. That's like some kind of meditative stuff.
No. Well, listen, it's not healthy to like have flash craps. Like, what I mean by a flash crap, which is the term
every shit is an emergency,
is that right? That's not good. Like, every dump shouldn't be like, I'm doing something, oh my God, things are happening. Like, that shouldn't be how they work. In general, your body should be like, all right, I haven't gone in a while, probably going to need to go later today. So like, I'm aware that later today, probably something will come up, but like, everything shouldn't be, I need to find a toilet because a sensation came over me. Is that how it is for you?
It's not regularly like that, especially since I stopped drinking, but it's still all over the place. But for the first time in a while since drinking, I did have a poo emergency, and I was driving to a Wegman store to a training. It was like the one that's 45 minutes away, and it hit. So like, it was like just stomach had a chain ripping through it, like one of those. And I was like, I got to stop. I got to go somewhere. Fortunately, there was a Wegmans on halfway. So I stopped at that Wegmans first. That was like 20 minutes away. Took a shit. I was like, oh, these bathrooms are a lot nicer than ours. And then I continued on my way to the other Wegmans I needed to go to.
So hold on. Did that day start at Wegmans?
I started from home.
Were you?
I did not hit 3 different Wegmans.
I was going to say, I'm like, were you on your way from Wegmans to Wegmans and had to make a pit stop at a Wegmans? The Wegmans trifecta? I mean, listen. I know I've taken shots at the general idea of corporate America, but overall, Wegmans are a solid public bathroom, like a solid public bathroom option if need be. Like, if I'm in a jam, I'm with absolute confidence going to resolve that issue by going to a Wegmans. So you got lucky, man. The fate was on your side, despite the fact your bowels and digestive system were not this day.
Say, Wegmans, every day you get our shits.
My priorities. Isn't it supposed to come to me? Yes, this is how it's meant to be. Every little thing flashing on a screen. My daddy worked hard for this.
Hell yeah. Actually has been a moderately productive day. Did have my managerial training class this morning where I had to present on a life achievement in our adult life. No surprise, your boy here won best presenter, is voted on by his peers. So just, I got it. The kids got it. Still got it. All I had to do was bring candy.
Did you use humor?
I did. I used humor. So basically we have to give these 90-second presentations about something. And today was about like a life achievement that we've had in our adult life, as I said. And mine was like giving a presentation when I worked at UT about like creating this workplace satisfaction program. So when there was a hiring freeze and basically like salaries couldn't go up, morale was donkey balls there. So we had to do the thing, which we talk about a lot on here, which is like, just give us the money. And there was no money. But we created this thing, because like peer recognition stuff, blah, blah, blah. But anyways, I presented on it, built this program, and did it at a national seminar for like international education advisors, St. Louis, no big deal. And like 400 people came, and it turned into playing a song at the beginning and dancing. And this girl I was with, her name was Tina. We had a thing of candy we were going to hand out to people. She just started like chucking it like right at people. I didn't think she realized how hard she was throwing, and it was just like just beaming people with candy like from 2 feet away. It was so good.
It was like rock hard pieces of Bazooka
Yeah.
Joe too, like something that could clearly take out someone's eye.
Yeah, like Hershey Kisses, pointy side forward.
Jawbreakers.
Yeah. But yeah, it was something like that. And of course, there's people in the class that are like, that just don't really have a compelling story in them or anything compelling about them. But that's all right. That's why they're there. By the end of the class, I'm sure they're gonna get there. But yeah. So I want a pen.
I mean, probably not.
Wondering. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you can help people along with like speaking engagements and stuff, but there's people who will eternally just be bad at public speaking. I mean, it's just like anything else. So not everyone can speak in front of groups, whether they be small groups, virtual, large groups in person, things of that nature. So it just either gets to people or it doesn't. But yeah, that's not surprising. So congratulations on that. That's a good feeling.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yep. And now I can just kind of rest on my laurels for the rest of the training.
There you go,
I'm gonna
man.
retire.
Now
retire,
it's time
fam.
to slack.
Yeah.
Let's get the slack going. Show up disheveled, drinking an NA on the monitor.
Yeah, dude.
Because
Don't worry,
it's NA.
NA.
It doesn't count.
Don't worry, it's NA.
Yeah, it doesn't count.
9:30. Yeah, so
doesn't count.
What are you drinking? Diet Pepsi, Sharon?
Yeah, it's
Why do you use
NA,
your mom's name?
okay?
Sorry.
I don't know.
Sharon.
That was a little weird.
Please continue drinking your Diet Pepsi, Sharon.
You're right. Or no, if you're not into Diet Pepsi, I'm not want to pressure you into Diet Pepsi. So yeah, I mean, that's cool. That does sound like an eventful day. My day always consists of talking to people and presenting. So this morning specifically, I presented for about an hour and a half. And it's a challenge, man. There's nothing like having your students start work at 8:30 and then you talk and present their job function and like go through a training at 8:45 a.m. People do not want to listen to me at 8:45 a.m. I like to think that I'm a pretty entertaining person. Of course, I'm going to use humor, even if they don't want me to, because that's a little bit for me more than them. But yeah, some people aren't receptive to it.
Do you have like your tent pole jokes that you put in the training? Like just like the bits, like here, I'm gonna make sure I get this one. This usually gets 40% laugh rate. Anything like that?
I can't.
You just freeball it?
Because I feel too gross. Yeah, you can't rehash the same jokes over and over. Maybe there's like personal GIFs that I like because we use Microsoft Teams. So, it's a GIF generator is in there. But if the particular GIF I'm feeling to really need to relay my emotions or the particular movie or show I want to relay isn't in there, I'm going to do a quick Google search and pull a GIF off of Google and drop it in. But
shut up! You're killing me, Smalls.
I can't believe you say GIF. Out of all the people in the world, I never would have thought you were a GIFer.
Why? Because there's the reason it should be GIF.
Yes, you're a reasons guy. Yes,
I know.
How did this happen?
Because I got bullied into it. I got bullied into it. Back when they first started coming out, I used to call them GIFs because, of course, it makes sense. That's the logical way to do it. It's logic.
But graphic interchange format or whatever it is?
Yes. I believe that's literally what
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. So then someone blindsided me with what seemed like a trumping logic. And I mean literally like a suit trump.
Mm-hmm.
Because they said they found an article and they threw it at me. It said that the creator of it called it GIF. And I'm like, who am I to defy this stupid man? Because he was the inventor of it. It's like pronouncing a name. It's how do I pronounce your name? I want to pronounce it this way, but if you tell me it's pronounced a different way, I gotta go with it. So just like that, the inventor called it GIF. I got suckered into it. and now it's just what I do. But I do love working with people who still, after all of these years of being exposed to like the internet and technology after 25, 30 years, still can't understand like how to even present terminology. They're like the gifts or the GIFs. They'll literally say that. And yes, these people are like 60 plus. And I'm like, how have you not focused over the last 20? Like, are you still saying the emails and the AOL? Like, oh, my AOL is that, like, I don't know. It's so weird that like
Yeah, it's interesting,
some people
like the
just can't
refusal to
adapt.
continue learning. And what age does that happen where you just are like, I'm done. I'm good with all the things that I've learned to this point, and I don't want to
Yep.
receive any more. I'm just going to turn it all off. Because at some point, everybody in their life is like really excited about whether it's technology or current events or pop culture or movies and stuff like that. And then at some point, you just stop. And I don't know if I'm there particularly yet. I mean, I definitely don't follow up with like pop music or movies as much as I used to. It doesn't mean I'm not into it. It's just into other things, kind of. But technology, I feel like it's weird to be like a willful, like, um, or yeah, abandoner of things that are happening in life. When people come into the store and they're like, I only use cash, and it's like, well, grow up, get a card. Like, this is, I don't understand. Like,
Right. And it's not even like oh, okay, with reason. Like there really isn't a
yeah,
valid reason to be that.
like identity, I guess I get, but you can cancel cards within a second. I mean, it's happened to me once in life. I mean, I feel like the average person in your lifetime, maybe once or twice, you'll have to deal with some kind of like identity issue or something like that. And
Oh,
it
100%.
takes
I
like
have.
maybe a couple weeks of your life or something like that. And it does suck, but
Mm-hmm.
at the expense of like missing out on everything that there is to going on in life, and like the speed, the efficiency, everything that we have. I mean, I know I'm sounding like a homer for technology, but it's like I think I always will be, because it's I think it's very impressive and I like to
Like,
use
what
it.
about what about that dark changeover time when we were all using cards, but yet PayPal and Venmo hadn't yet really taken off? So it was like, oh, how do we split this bill? And everyone's like, I literally don't know if we can. Like,
Yeah.
it's like it used to be like, can we use 6 cards on this bill? And now it's just like, yo, someone pay, and then we Venmo and figure it out afterwards. But yeah, man, I mean, there's a lot of cashless places now, sports stadiums, concerts. Those things are really all going towards cashless, and it makes sense. It is safer. Um, but there's still businesses that'll be like cash only, but we have an ATM. I'm like, so I get to pay $6 to take out money to pay you because of your antiquated ways? Eat shit. And it's
Yeah,
probably
we
you're probably selling a product because you're cash only. You're probably selling some stupid product that I actually didn't even care about in the first place. It's like, well, you'll never be able to buy this battery organizer that my wife crocheted if you don't pay me in cash. Well, then fuck it then. Fuck her. Fuck you. Fuck your
yeah.
ATM.
Yeah. And I did, I'll carry some cash around, of course, but
Sure,
and
so
it
do I.
yeah, and I mean, we had the self checkouts at the store that went cashless, and it's like, oh, I just got to use cash. I just don't have a card, and it's like, great. I don't, but you can still do that, but don't expect the world to just adapt to just it has
Well,
feces
no,
on it. It's like it gets stuck in the
you have to
machines.
understand everyone else is moving on. So if it may you not being or you being set in a particular way and refusing to adapt, literally not only is your life, it's not that your life's not going to change from what you're used to. The option, you're going to start being hassled more because you're not adapting. And that's the problem I think people face, is that it used to be like well, if you don't want to adapt, other people will, and they'll get extra benefits, but you won't be held back. But now that's where we're going past that. Now you're holding yourself back because you won't adapt.
Yeah, at some
Everyone
point,
else isn't
yeah,
wrong. You're wrong.
everybody's adapted in their life at some point and taken something, whether it's an automobile,
I was just
dungarees,
going to say, I'm not using one of these fancy
yeah,
motor cars.
yeah, some kind of battery, electricity. Like, you've adapted to
Mm-hmm.
that. Like, why stop? I mean, it's kind of more like, I guess I'm just sad. Like, is that going to happen to us? Are we just going to get sad and be like, I can't anymore with anything in life?
Nope.
And how does that
Nope. Put
happen?
me down if that's the case. Mm.
Yeah.
I can't explain half the reason I see people or hear people say what they say or do what they do. I got to focus on what makes sense to me, and I'm going to keep doing that. So I
Well,
can't speak for other people, but it is pretty incredible.
I'm going to segue into our words because
Segue.
one was school, behavior,
Mhm.
and steep. School, behavior, steep. So I was sort of thinking about that with
Mhm.
school. I was like, obviously we're not in school, and I was thinking like, do we keep learning? And because I remember thinking in school and college, like I talked about it with somebody this week about how I love a good procrastination, love a good last minute paper. Like, hey, I'm gonna go set up in the library and knock out 15 pages here tonight and get a solid B. That's my goal. That's what I do. But thinking that was like the most stressful, anxiety ridden thing in my life is needing to get a paper done really quickly. And now I look back and it's like school is like maybe the easiest hard thing of your life. Maybe that's why we do it when we're young. We have to because it is challenging. It can be difficult. I feel like not as difficult as being a functional adult.
See, I disagree with you on that. I think because of that, because of what's really required to actually get a good education, there's understanding and really absorbing the information, and then there's doing well in class. And I know a lot of people that I don't know that they're that much more intelligent, but they are great at getting the work done and doing well at it. So like I sucked ass at wanting to learn. Like in high school, I didn't want to learn anything, but I was good at getting by with that attitude. Like I wasn't as good of a student as you, but I was content with my 90 average in high school without really caring about anything I was learning or really wanting to learn. I didn't really appreciate the concept of learning new things in an education until probably my late 20s. And so I kind of wish that after like I got out of school, I wish I did take a break. I wish I had gotten a job and all I had to worry about was physically being at this location and doing good work while I was there, as opposed to having to have assignments and be able to procrastinate and stuff like that. So I wish I had done a job for 4 or 5 years because I think that would have expedited maybe the understanding that getting back into a learning environment and knowing what I want to do with my life and stuff like that would have been more appropriate for me to start college in my early 20s.
Yeah, I mean, as I'm saying this, I realize it kind of hindered me moving forward in my development because you're right. Like school kind of was easy for me, and I wouldn't say I worked very hard at it. I think I'm lucky. Like, I don't know. I'm not saying I'm
No,
a
I don't.
genius at all. Like,
I would agree. I don't
yeah,
think you. I don't remember you working exorbitantly hard or like more often, but you
yeah.
were good at it, man. Like that, it was a more natural thing for you than it was for me.
Yeah, I was able to absorb things quickly and they stuck in my brain for whatever reason. I don't know why. I just got lucky with that. And then I was able to kind of, whatever, write stuff out and do well enough. But in a way that kind of hurt me, I think, in my
Probably.
20s and college and stuff, because I didn't really have a work ethic in a way. It was like
Yeah.
I'm so used to things coming easily that now, I was met with resistance or people that were like real geniuses, real smart.
Challenge.
Yeah, yeah. And I was like, fuck, I don't know how to do this. Like, um, maybe that's why it seemed hard to me. Maybe because back then it was easy for whatever reason, and then it did get
Yeah.
harder. But I also, I mean, even I don't think I was that interested in it either until because I bet you have, like you were saying, you didn't have an interest in it necessarily, but I mean things that you want to learn, I'm sure you're good at. Like really, like the first book I ever read that I like fully was like, holy shit, this is reading was I think like sophomore year of college or something when I read Crime and Punishment and I had a good teacher. He like really made me understand it and where it came from, and it was like a really good book. I mean, it's a gripping book anyway. But then when you throw in the history and what's going on in Russia at the time, I was like, oh my god! And that's why I did Russian studies as a major because that one teacher and that one book. Because I was like, I don't know what else I want to do. I'll just fucking major in this thing that doesn't do shit for me, but at least I like it. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I get that. I'll let you know when I've read that book. No, I honestly think the very first book I read that I really enjoyed reading was, I would have been 27. It was 2010, and it was the book Moneyball, because it was
That's
baseball
right. I think you mentioned
and
that. Yeah.
it was numbers. And that was the first thing that I'm like, see, there are books that I can enjoy. But as far as school goes, man, I mean, yeah, there were definitely things I did enjoy and I did well. My business classes, my capstone business classes, um, marketing, advertising, stuff like that. I loved it, crushed it because I actually wanted to do it. But one of the biggest crocks of shit I think out there is gen eds in college. We've shoved general knowledge down your throat for the last 12 years. But now that you're paying to go to this school, you need a little bit more. Like gen eds are
Oh,
the biggest crock of shit. Like, and I think that's a big
is that
deterrent.
like
And I
basic
think,
math, basic U.S.
well,
history, like that
yeah,
kind of
like
stuff? Or
I did 3 years. I did a year of Spanish in middle school, and I did 3 years of Spanish in high school. I didn't do it senior year of high school. And then I got to college and they're like, you need to do a semester of Spanish or a semester of a language. And I'm like, but why? Stop. So the semester that I took was literally easier than Spanish 3 that I did in high school. I go, so what are we doing here? I'm like, stop making me take these things. Like, just filler classes where it's like, oh, you need a credit of this, you need a credit under this umbrella. Stop. Let me take classes related to my major. I'm paying to study a specific thing to have a career. Stop making me take your bullshit classes. I don't understand why we make people take gen ed classes. It's such complete nonsense, and I think it absolutely contributes to people getting burnt out and exhausted. Dude, I failed out of college and didn't graduate on time at the original projected time. Well, the second original projected time, because I failed a 300 level music class. Our professor had 3 textbooks for a gen ed class that we had to buy and read and stuff. And it's like, you need to stop. People are only taking this class because they're forced to. Stop teaching it differently. Stop it.
yeah, it's not really tailored to. I mean, I sort of get the idea of it in that. Okay, let's if students come through our institution, they're gonna be well rounded. They're gonna at least gonna have some knowledge of yada yada yada.
No one cares. That's
But
bullshit.
um,
Don't feed me that.
I that C plus in astronomy I got is really serving me too much. Like that was like one of the I had to take classes. I thought it'd be fun. It was not. Space is hard. It's not as easy as you think it is.
Because it draws your career out into 4 years there, which gives them more money. Don't you
Mm.
dare fucking tell me like they're going to be more well-rounded with our degree. Fuck off, dude. It is. It's a fucking sham. That's all bullshit. Colleges are just for-profit institutions that get a raging hard on because they get to charge you to take classes you don't need so that you get a job so that they can then beg you for money by being part of the alumni association, which gets you what? Absolutely nothing. It's all bullshit.
I do appreciate. I mean, we were talking about technology and its applications and accepting it or not, but I think like whatever it was 20 years ago when it was like Phoenix Online or I feel like it used to
University
be
of
kind of a
Phoenix?
punchline, yeah, like online college. It's like, oh, I can't do real college or something like
What
that.
a
It's some
joke.
kind of bullshit. But now it's like it's a real legit way, and you're almost stupid now if you go to. I mean, you're not stupid if you go to college because honestly, it's a great experience. It's a way of like baby stepping the adult process and getting used to more social things and all that. So I would say go, but to actually learn about content and a trade or to just be able to read and get real educated like online classes are really good now. They're like very sophisticated. A lot of them are free. I mean, I did one when I first moved back to Auburn. I finished like the whatever fundamentals of IT from Google. And I was like, I really learned a lot. And I was like, some stuff I knew, some stuff I didn't. But I was like, I should keep doing this. I didn't, but I could have. I could have like gone. It was a really good program,
I
It's just
thought,
so
wow,
hard to
this
keep
is
learning.
great. I can't believe I should totally keep doing
Yeah,
this. And then I didn't.
yeah. But
Yep.
I did get a certificate for the first course, so it was really good. But it's amazing how far that's come, and that's like I
Yeah.
do think it's cool that you can get really a tailored like specific like I want to learn like circuits or something like that because I want, I'm going to need that for the pinball arcade. I'm going to need to learn how basic electrical circuits work, and I forgot my 7th grade technology or 8th grade technology. So I need to get a new soldering iron and all that.
Oh my God.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, I've always thought about getting like insurance. There's tons of different insurance certifications and stuff like that, and just because I don't know, it's almost because I'm like, well, I guess that's the field I'm in. I could always do that, and I think I have a very good understanding based on how many jobs I've held in insurance. But I'm not sure I actually give a shit, so I don't know if I would fall into the same concept, or I would have confidence to sit and read and learn it because I know the industry. So
Yeah, is that a little too
yeah,
low hanging a fruit there? Is that like you just want to accomplish something?
yeah, maybe that's the feeling, is like you need a more rock hard sense of accomplishment. Um, because I
Rock
get
hard.
fidgety and like need, yeah, good. Fuck off.
Um, do you find yourself forget? I mean, because I know you do crosswords now. You do like
Yeah.
the word puzzles. You try to stay sharp. And I've
Yeah.
been thinking about that because you remember there's all these ads for like luminosity or something to keep your brain like elastic and functional. And I'm like, I think I might need that
Yeah.
now. Like, I'm gonna still play games and do like I'll pop into Wordle or I'll look at a crossword here and there, but I'm like, I might have to do more brain stuff because I forget shit really easily now. And I don't know if that's
I
just
do too,
the
man.
nature of this or what.
I don't know. It worries me. I get kind of freaked out sometimes by how much
Right?
I have a hard time recalling stuff. Um, I mean, because the reality is my dad can't remember shit, and I feel like he hasn't retained anything new over the last 20 years. But yeah, man, it worries me that like I can't. And a weird one, and this is a perception I've had for a while now, is that I used to really love playing 6 Degrees. If you're familiar with 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon.
Sure. Yeah.
So me and a particular buddy of mine, my buddy Sean, we used to play a lot. Like I'd go to his house, and him, me, my wife, anyone who's kind of his wife, anyone who's hanging out at the house, we'd play 6 Degrees. So two people would say an actor or actress, and then we'd see who can link them together by who's been in a movie with whom, who's been in a movie with whom, who's been in a movie with whom, to get to the other person. And I used to love doing it, and I used to be really sharp with it. And I feel like it is impossible for me to do it these days. And while the nature of it being actors and stuff like that isn't relevant, it's knowledge I have. It's in there somewhere, but like, why is it hard to pull out that info now? Like, or is it still in there, or have I just straight up forgotten it? And I don't think it's forgotten, because when people say things, when people say the answer that I can't pull, it always makes sense, and I go, oh yeah, I know that.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't make me feel better. It almost makes me feel worse. So I'm like, why can't I recall? Like, it's not forgetting stuff. It's I
Yeah.
can't
It's
recall it.
yes.
Literally meaning it's there. It's in there because it always makes sense when someone else presents it. But why can't I pull it from my brain myself?
Dude, that's it, right? Because it's there. Like it's like, oh, it starts with a B or something, and it's
Yeah,
like that's the
it's not
pulls
an
that we're
issue of
making now.
remembering.
It's
It's
like
an
I know it's
issue of
there.
recollection.
I
Yeah,
can think
it
of three
sucks. It is.
letters that might be in it. I don't know what order they are, but I know it. Yeah, you say it, and
Yeah,
then I'm gonna hop on like I knew it. It's kind of yeah, it is. It's weird. Like, it must yeah. This is the way it is now. That's kind of sad. It
right.
sucks. Oh
It is a
no.
total bummer, and I don't like it. I would rather
Oh
remember rather recall the things I remember than just hope someone else says what I'm looking for.
yeah. Well, I guess that's another reason to just stay. Keep learning.
Yeah,
Keep
man.
learning.
Got to keep
There's a little.
expanding your
Look like
vocab. Like the vocab of today is bonhomie. Bonhomie is the word of the day.
bonhomme.
Good-natured, easy friendliness. An example is, for older athletes, the bonhomie among teammates and rivals is often as important as the exercise. Bonhomie, Bonhomie. Bonamy.
Bone me. I
Nope.
already forgot.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Good. I will see. But it's like I'd have to read that. I mean, honestly, for like 3 minutes to remember. I mean, you got to use it. Bonamy.
Yep.
We'll see if you can use it
Yep.
before the end of the podcast in an organic
Okay.
fashion. The
Oh,
Bonamy
good.
show. Did you have these? Were tough words. Behavior,
They
steep.
were.
Did you come up with anything?
Not much. I mean, I felt like everything revolved around like the storms in Oswego is what came to mind because
Really?
steep. Well, steep originally had me think of there's the bluffs outside of Oswego, New York, that me and friends, fraternity brothers, used to go hang out at sometimes, um, right on the Lake Ontario. But then I thought, like, well, there was that really bad snowstorm my senior year where the snow was really built up, and the snowbanks around the city and around the neighborhoods were so absurdly large and just dropped off because there's like a major, instead of plowing the snow, if you plow the snow, it pushes it to the sides, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there was too much snow on the sides, so you couldn't push more snow to the sides and still make 2 lanes on the roadways. So they have these massive dump trucks with the snowblower mechanisms on them. So all of the snow just got cut down. And so every road was just like an alleyway that you really couldn't see around. And it was terrifying. So that's what made me think of the Oswego storm, and the behavior that ensued with the Oswego storm was basically being irresponsible. And when classes were officially canceled, people just hung out and drank. If you could get to the city to go to the one grocery store that was open in town, if you had like a 4x4 vehicle, you could go down the street and get to the beer store to rekindle. And other behaviors on campus was my friend Chris had a pickup truck and was pulling people behind him on the campus roads, like in sleds. And the campus police didn't take too kindly to that because they're like, if you stop and the sled keeps going, these kids can like get injured and die. So there was that. Other behaviors were the drifting that would happen next to Oneida Hall, where I did live one semester. Not though I wasn't on campus when the storm hit, but when this drifts would happen, the wind would swirl down. And how do I describe this? If you go out the entrance of the dorm, to the right was a parking lot and where the dining hall was. But between the dining hall and the dormitory, there's like a steep drop off. So the dorm, like if you walked in on the first floor, but if you walked out of the back or the side,
yeah.
you'd walk out the basement floor. So there's
Sounds like
like
a
a
classic
12,
dorm structure.
yeah, there's like a 12-foot drop off, but the snow, if there was enough snow that had fallen, it would swirl around and get there. And so you'd have, if there's 3 feet of snow on the ground, in that little wedge corner where it would swirl up, you'd have like 6+ feet of snow. And so we would just like run and just launch off of that and just into the snow pile. But the way you had to do it was jump. And the ideal way is to jump, spin around in air, and like land like snow angel style, right? Because
Yeah.
for all you science buffs out there, you're kind of opening up your like surface area of what's catching in the snow, which means you're going to sink less and go less in. Well, I remember one time a couple of us did it, and this girl, I don't even know who it was, but a friend of ours, there was like 6 of us there. A girl was like, I'm going to try. And she just jumped off like straight pencil dove and just thump, like homegirl was missing in the snow. Yeah. So the person who had jumped first, like is trying to swim back to like get her out. Someone else jumps in. Like a couple of us jump over and like just end up digging her out. And she literally was like stuck in like pencil dive action. We're like, and that's why you don't jump in just feet first, because all your weight is based on just right above your feet. Simple science.
Stupid is as stupid does, sir.
Yeah. I don't think she was
Yeah,
a science
you grew
major.
up in. I mean, yeah, I grew up. Went to school in Oswego, which is renowned for like some of the gnarliest lake effect snow in the country. Really, That's I mean,
Yeah.
that's a very formative time. To, like, that's why so much beer consumption happens there. It's got to be. I mean, you can
It's
like
true.
barely go outside. It's just gray
And
all the time.
there's no city. Like for those that don't know, the closest
Yeah.
city, quote unquote, and I use these air quotes as air quotey as I can, is
Mm.
Syracuse, and that's an hour drive in good weather, and that's a crap city. So like there's
Yeah.
nothing to do other than drink. Like that's the real issue of Oswego. And the campus at the time, the campus never used to put on events or stuff. So like they'd be upset that kids are drinking, but in reality, they're not. There's nothing else to do.
Yeah, we used to. I mean, I think kids used to steal like lunch trays from the cafeteria at Colgate, and there was a hill right behind it, so go sledding down that. Sledding was so fun. It's like when you're young, snow has no pain at all. Just like I remember just standing up on sleds, going just eating shit, like running into fences, and it was just like just I don't know how, you just don't feel pain. It was great. It's just like you get
Dude,
charged by it. It's like who can
think
fuck
of the
themselves
high
up
school.
more?
Our high school was like a breeding
Hmm.
ground for injuries. And they just
Hmm.
let every snow day you could go to the high school and there might be 20, 30 people going down the hill behind the Auburn High School. And then someone just decides they're like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to build the ramp. And like someone in the morning would build a ramp. Other people would add to it after that person left. And then eventually someone's going off that thing with the inner tube and is going to land wrong and break their arm. and or like there's blood on the snow because someone clearly like busted their nose open or plowed into someone else as they were walking back up the hill and that kid bit it. And yeah, you were in general though, you were pretty impervious to pain. Like down the side of my parents' yard, starting from the street, yeah, you could get a good run going down our side yard. But all you need to do is build a ramp and maybe slam into a tree or something like that. All of the above, all good things.
Yep. I wanted to ask you about well, the presentation that I talked about today. I would usually end it um, talking about wishes and how that was my big motivational thing. Is like, well, hey, what if we really got like 3 wishes or something like that, and we wasted them all because we say things like, "I wish I had a sandwich," blah blah blah, because we always wish things, but instead we should say, "I want it," blah 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 again. But then it's like, what if you did have your wishes left and they were real? Like, what would be a wish you'd want to use? And think about it truly in like a frivolous vanity way, not like totally functional, but like just for fun, just like to make your life a lot of more better, just or not, just like I mean, you can live to 1,000. I mean, you could just be free with it. Don't think about what's functional and practical.
That is really tough, man. I mean, it is what it is that money,
Yeah.
like money is the real thing.
Mm-hmm.
I know it doesn't buy happiness, but it certainly can alleviate stress and fear and anxiety. So, absurd amounts of money would be great. But there's, a big basis of altruism to it as well, because like, I think everyone, hopefully everyone, if you're not, then you're literally a bad person. I'm going to start with that, and then you can tell me if I'm wrong or right. But I think everyone would love to be able to support things monetarily that they believe in. So, like, that can be loved ones, programs, you know, uh, anything that helps people, particular things that have passions about, to have other people have the ability to engage in those passions, like simple stuff like that. Like I always thought it'd be cool to, instead of just donating money to like a school or something like that. Um, I always thought it'd be cool. I'm like, man, if I won like, the last Mega Millions or both Mega Millions and Powerball, which were both over 500
Jacked.
million for a cash prize. It'd be cool to be able to like go to a school and be like, I'm not going to donate just money to you, but like, let's go get any kid who wants to be in like a music program. Let's go buy them all like instruments and stuff, because that is taxing and not a lot of people have access to it. But music was a huge thing for my youth, and I would absolutely want kids to feel like they have that ability to give it a try. And so simple stuff like that's always been a big aspect of it. So I think money, to realize that you're taken care of and that you don't need to do a stupid job of any sort. And I don't mean that in negative towards my own job. I actually like my job, but more of like you do it because that's your job. That's how you make money. Like anyone who says like, nope, I would do my job even if I won $500 million. I don't believe you. I
Yeah.
don't. I don't believe you. There's another way to be happy that doesn't require you to be abiding by someone else's rules and stuff like that. Now, if you're a business owner, maybe. But if you work for someone and you'd still work, I don't understand what you're saying, or you're lying to yourself, because it makes no sense, because you can have passions about
You
other
couldn't.
things.
Yeah. You wouldn't be like,
It
oh no,
makes
I'm gonna
no
be
sense when
late.
people are like, I'd
Like, where's
still work. I'm like,
yeah.
that's a really bad job. And I don't know how that happens, but
It's like when people
yeah,
play
so
poker with play chips and not real money. It's like there's no stakes. You can just call in or push in all the
oh my
time. Like
God.
there's nothing
If
real to
someone
it.
suggests that to me, I instantly have to berate them because it's not okay.
I know. Well, that's what's like going to work when you're already like a multi-billionaire. It's like you don't need to. Like you know, there's no way you would want to keep doing that.
Yeah.
I like that. You know what? I like your altruistic idea though. Like I hadn't gone that far into thinking about what you'd do with it. I was thinking, it would be awesome if one of my way. I wouldn't want all the money. I'd still want to earn the money, you know, but I'd want to earn it from like like playing video games or something. So every point or whatever dollar, whatever in every game, there's some kind of scoring system. Madden point. Every time you accrue a point, a dollar, whatever the currency is in the game, that goes directly into my bank account. So I could play a game of Super Mario Brothers 3 and get a
And be
whatever
making
score
money.
500,000. Yeah, and just get that. It'd be turned into currency right away, and I would get it, have access to it. And it's like, hey, listen, Matt, we need a new wing to our online college. Whatever we get, we need more computers and servers. And it's like, cool. You know what? Here, let me go hop on GTA 5 for a little
Yeah.
bit.
I
I'll
can
make you
fit you
guys some
in.
money
I
real
can fit
quick.
you in
Yeah,
for a couple hours on Wednesday. Should be able to handle that, no
yeah,
problem.
right. Play whatever. Whenever I play like PGA Tour or whatever, like whatever I make in that pretend tournament goes right into the real bank. So
Mm-hmm.
that would be my wish, and then I'd figure out what to do with the money. But did you ever have you ever had like a coattails policy with any friends about if you or they ever like win big, win a lottery, like you kind of set up like you kind of take them along with something like give them a cut or like
An
they
agreement,
all go
like
along
an
for the
actual
ride.
agreement with someone.
I guess not. I mean, maybe just something you say, but
Yeah, I have it with two friends. We play when we
what is it?
play Mega Millions and Powerball. We keep each other in check. Be like, hey, picked up my tickets, picked up my numbers.
What's the
And yeah,
agreement?
the agreement is 10% of the winnings. Like obviously, in the event of a massive winning, I don't know that we've actually put a dollar amount on it, but anything over, let's say, $10,000, it would be 10% to each of the other two guys. So we've always chatted. It's like, oh, $600 million cash prize. It's like, all right, even if I don't win, if those guys win, I got 60 mil. Like, yeah,
Wow.
and that's been going
That's
on
a
for
pretty
years.
yeah. That's a pretty generous policy.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
feel like 10K to 100K is kind of standard. Like maybe that's just what people say when they don't mean it. I don't know.
but yeah, I mean, I've always thought about certainly my immediate family, my brothers, and then my parents. Is I always thought like realistically, if I was winning in the $10 million like let's say I won 10 million, I'd probably give each brother $1 million, and my and both of my parents each $1 million. So I'd have six for myself. Like that's important to me. Um, and I'd probably actually, gosh, I don't want to exclude my nieces. I want them to be able to make
Right.
to have some scratch. That's not at the bearing of their parents. I'll give them like $5,000 to blow it on something completely stupid and nonsensical, and I'll give them like 10 grand to do something to save it or something. But yeah, I mean, it's never been anything about like buying stuff necessarily for myself. It's always, how can I not work so I have nothing but time, and how can I help people, like be philanthropic, or spend. I believe in donating time um, to causes as well. And then how can I spend more time with the people that I love? So it's a lot of like, do I have enough money to convince a couple, other people, be like, hey, listen, we're going, I'm buying a vacation, or I'm renting a vacation house or something. Everyone take this week off from work and just be there. There's no money involved, stuff like that. So I'd love to keep doing stuff like that, so that, you're spending time with people. People are benefiting from your good fortune. So
I like the
yeah,
idea of like maybe giving a lump sum, like whatever, giving, especially if you won the big one, of just being like, oh, here's $1 million. But after that, don't ask me for money again. But we're gonna do stuff. Like I'm gonna do stuff in my life. We're gonna do
yeah,
crazy shit. I'm gonna have houses, like 7 houses around the world. We're gonna go travel. Like it's not always gonna be your turn, but you're
yep,
gonna get a lot of
yep.
turns.
It's not always
It's
going to be
like
your turn.
there's gonna be a lot of people in my life now hitting me up. But you're riding
But I
those
will
coattails.
hold.
So
But there is the point of, I would hold contests and stuff. So I'd be like, guys, good news. I'm
yes,
giving away another 50 grand. What I need is a 10,000 word essay as to why I should give you the 50 grand. And it better be fucking funny. Like, I don't want sob stories or anything like that. I actually did that with something on a very lower scale. I was getting rid of a television that I had no use for anymore. It was an old plasma TV, and I got rid of it on Craigslist. And I posted on Craigslist, I'm willing to give away this TV for free, but you need to tell me in 500 words or less as to why you think I should give you the TV. Now,
really.
evidently, this goes against Craigslist's um,
What?
rules and regulations.
What's the
So they actually,
terms?
I don't know. I don't know why I'm like, why am I
What?
doing such a bad thing? But they pulled down the post after like three hours. Someone flagged it, but I did get some emails. I did get them in before it got flagged. I remember, I think I got 3 emails, maybe 4, and one was like a throwaway one, like, yeah, I want the TV. I'm rad, or something like that. But like, someone gave one, and listen, interpret this as you will, people, but someone gave me like a very like religious based, like, and I just want, the Lord, and I'm just like, oh boy, you are preaching to the wrong person. I'm like, sorry, like I get what you're going for, but
God
I'm not
wants
the
me
guy
to
that
have this TV.
I'm like, it was something weird, and like, but there was a couple name drops, like Jesus and God, and like
Yeah.
ultimate name dropper, and I'm like, sorry, man, that's just not my slice. But no, a kid messaged me. I don't remember his name. This was 2015, I believe. A kid messaged me, said, I'm going up there, or no, I just arrived a couple days ago for college at UB. I'm in an apartment by myself. It's my first apartment away from home. I'm the first one of my family to go to college. I'm from blah blah blah, and he kind of just like threw out like a hope and a prayer, because he's like, I'm looking, to set up my room, but I don't have money for a TV right now, but I'll probably get one down the line.
Holy shit.
And I'm like, you know what? This kid's being straight up honest with me. I'm like, yeah, man. I'm like, I'm giving you the TV. That's fine. And I'm like, you can come pick it up and stuff. And I helped him move it into his car. He had a car that certainly was not made to be moving this like 42-inch plasma TV. But I think we scraped the car's like door trying to get it to fit in the back seat, because it was just like a small sedan. But he was really appreciative of it. He talked to me for about 10 minutes. When he got home, he set it up, took pictures, and texted them to me. And he's like, hey, Jeff, here's the TV. I wanted to show you that I really appreciate it. I have it in my living room and blah, blah, blah of the apartment. And so like, he was just really seemed to be really appreciative of it. And I'm like, oh, good. I got what I wanted out of this. This was a great operation. Success.
Yeah, definitely. I'm definitely not watching porn on it from now on after this
That's
picture.
fine. If he
Yeah.
did and sent me that, I'd be good for you.
Yeah.
Jerk away, little buddy.
Big old titties on the screen. Thanks.
Have on it.
free
Have
free
at it.
titties.
That's
in
fine.
plasma. Total Recall is
He
amazing.
said he was a
on
college
this.
kid. What am I supposed to
Yeah,
anticipate? He said he was in college.
Wow, you should have let off. That was a great story. That's an episode 1 kind of thing. That's probably one of the most important things I should have known about you. giving away a free TV. Who's the fucking loser who tattled on you trying to give away a TV?
I don't
for an
know.
essay?
Right? What am
I
I
still
doing
don't
that
know.
is so disruptive by giving away a TV under my own terms? I wasn't being like, yo, the first person to like knock out a stranger and have it on video. No, I literally just said you have to write me a reason why I should give you the free TV. And they flagged me and they took it down.
I got flagged when I was using like Bumble because I had a picture of kids in there. Somebody flagged me, but it was a picture of me. I was like, it was just a hilarious picture.
You as a kid?
I had a mullet. Yeah, like racing stripes or whatever. I just thought it was a hilarious picture.
This man kidnapped this child. I is this child.
I am the person. Hey, at least I'm not one of those fucking losers putting pictures of their real kids in their Bumble pictures. Yeah. Sorry, single moms. I'm sorry. But, you know,
that's a real weird flex, single moms, to like throw your kids in there. Like that's dangerous. Probably
you gotta blur out all the other faces. I'm trying
to attract strangers, so the obvious way to do that is to post pictures of my children. Think about that sentence. What you're doing is not different than what I just said.
Yeah. But I'm off, man. Off the app, so I need a fresh start. I just got a message that said you are now invisible or whatever, and I was like, it feels so good.
Wow.
Feels so good. Bumble like I'm not being shown on the
Bumble
apps.
went right for the
or
throat.
Tinder,
you're now
one of those,
invisible. They're like, good luck, loser. You're now invisible. Jeez, Bumble.
Yeah,
right for the throat.
Now here you are, ladies.
I'm still here, Bumble.
Free man. Yeah,
I'm still
here.
See
out there at some kind of event.
I was gonna say, I'm like, you just passed the Great Race. That was probably your best bet. I don't know what other social events is. Tomato Fest.
Got the
still
Tomato
going
Fest
on?
coming up. Yeah. The old Tomato Fest. Hey,
Tomato Fest.
Great Race. Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. That's the Tomato Fest pickup line. Didn't I see you at the Great Race? That might be the most Auburn thing you could do or say. Yeah. Didn't I see you at Great Race?
Hey, did I catch you at a Double Days game? You look familiar. Oh, it is not depressing.
No.
I'm feeling close, honestly. Jeff, I'm going to tell you. Feel like within this calendar year, I'm going to meet my wife. I don't know what it is. It's just like something about it.
So let me ask you this. Are you declaring that, I want to clarify if it's one or the other. Are you going to meet your wife by the end of the calendar year, or by the end of the calendar year, you will have met your wife? And those are different things.
The second one.
Okay.
You know what? So I may have already met her. She just doesn't know it yet.
Maybe you already know this person. Okay. That's interesting. Well, come January 1st, you're going to feel really fucking weird if you're not with a girl or have not gone on a date, because you're going to be like, all right, so no new people. Someone's going to walk up. They're going to be the perfect match for you. And you're going to go, I have no time for you, brand new person, because you're not the future Mrs. Jones.
Yep. I'm telling you, episode 53, when we're on our year anniversary, you will meet my future wife.
That is a really weird declaration. What, we're 22 episodes away from that? 20.
Oh, no. Wait.
Is this episode 31?
It seems so far away. It seems so far away when you think about it in a calendar. But although it has been 40 years, what's another 2 months, 3 months?
And now, because we know who Matt is, he's going to procrastinate on really moving forward with this.
Yeah, that last night.
Oh, that assignment's not due till the end of December. Yeah. Dude, it's August.
Yeah. I'm going to start up, though, with the winter Great Race so I can get it done.
That's not a thing. So just a heads up, that's not a thing. Yeah. Well, Tomato Fest. Tomato Fest is fall Great Race. And I don't know
either
if
find a wife or
anything in the winter.
Either find my wife or I start drinking again. And that's a bet.
We now have really upped
either way, it could be fun.
No reason at all. Yeah. That's a very irrational ante to have been up.
2024 is going to be special. It's going to be.
It's either the rise or demise of Matt Jones. Let's just say that. He's going all or nothing, folks. So Woof.
I might need to
Interesting.
use a wish. I might need to use a wish here in a couple months.
December 30th rolling around.
Yeah.
I am going to need to use this wish.
Yeah. I'll put a Craigslist ad out. Hey, yeah, just straight up looking for a wife. Need a 300 word essay. Just a paragraph. Hey, they took off. I was looking the other day actually with some friends for the Craigslist classifieds. They don't have them anymore. Like the male seeking women, any of those, like any of the gnarly.
No?
Yeah, they do have the missed encounters. Or what was it? Close encounters.
Misconnections?
Misconnections. Yeah. They still have that, but nobody.
But
I don't
no
know.
more
That's a shot in the dark. And
loving.
yeah, no,
Hmm.
that's kind of sad. So there goes one option.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to work hard.
Because I always kind of like flip through because it was hilarious because I wanted to just know how people posted on it. Like, actually, misconnections is the great one. If you ever read those,
Yeah.
those things are gold. I saw you at Walmart. You had a green shirt. Message me the shirt, like picture on the front, and I'll know it was you. And you're like, what? Like, I kind of want to just
I
start
know.
emailing those people.
Like,
and
has
just start
anybody
guessing.
ever actually like
Has it worked? Has
yeah.
it worked? Have people been reconnected after having missed that special connection with that special someone who was wearing those brown boots that hikers wear at Dick's Sporting Goods?
I mean, it was pretty. It's pretty common. I mean, because Austin's a big city, so I would go on there once in a while and be like, I mean, what are the odds somebody
See, like,
saw me?
yeah,
Hey,
like
you were
Auburn
5'7".
makes
Your license says 5'8". Yeah.
like Auburn Craigslist makes like it sounds like it could work, but like, how do you do this in like New York City? I saw you in Manhattan. You were wearing shoes. Your hat looked kind of cool. Email me if you think it was you.
You were the hipster.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm
Yeah,
going
I mean,
to.
what a great start. Maybe that's where your wife is.
Here's this. I'm going to New York City. Do you believe it? Do you believe it, strange fam? I'm going to the city, the big
I'm going
city.
to the big time.
Yeah. So I'm going. There's a new Wegman store happening in Manhattan, in like Greenwich Village.
Yeah,
It's opening in October 18th or something, and they need people to go and help open the store. So they were like, "Do you want to go?" They recruit people from different stores. I was like, "Yeah, I want to go." So I'm gonna go there for like a week in October in the fall. And I was like, "You can get there different ways. They pay for air travel or reimburse. I think I'm gonna take a train. It's like 5 hours, and like whatever. Is a plane faster? Sure. I've taken enough flights in my life. I don't want to go to the airport. You can get delayed, whatever. I
Will
want to
they
have.
pay for a train?
Yeah.
Because it's way more expensive than a flight. Have you ever seen?
Well,
have you ever
I did
looked
look
at
it up.
Amtrak? It makes no
Business
sense.
class. Yeah. Well, that's why I was like, well, trains are dumb because it takes 4 weeks to get somewhere. But from Syracuse to New York City, it's like 5.5 hours, and even business class is like $200. So I was like, okay,
Oh,
we can make this work.
that's
But I was
not
also
bad.
like, how fucking romantic is it to take a train to New York City in the fall? And maybe I'll meet her there. Or
you're going to be
or at least I'll get in
outside.
the
You're going to
spirit
be
of it.
outside the capital region in the leather stocking region, and you're going to see some amazing foliage, and you're going to share that moment with another traveler.
Mm-hmm. We're going to go by harbors. We're going to go by farms, orchards, all the stuff,
You'll be like, you know what that tree is? And she'll be like, what? And you're like, it's red and orange. And then she'll be like, ha ha ha, oh you. You're like, I'm just kidding. It's a maple. Hi, my name's Matt.
Yes. Do you want to play my Switch?
No, careful.
I was catching a little flack from that. Like, they're like, it's kind of silly. And it's like, I don't know. Like, I've flown like 350 times in my life. I want to take
That's a lot of times.
slower train ride because I just haven't really done it that much because it takes forever usually.
You've really flown 350 times?
Yeah.
Dude, I've never even flown 35 times. I've flown more than 3.5 times. So, but I have not, I bet I've flown, well, if we're counting connecting flights, we'll say I've had probably 10 to 15 takeoffs.
I do count those to sound dramatic.
10 to 15 takeoffs and the same amount of landings, happy to say.
Yeah. $350 does include each flight, just to boost the numbers.
Sure.
I am, I am, yeah, pumping these up.
Wow.
But still, it's a takeoff and a drop down every time. And but just because used to travel for work. I mean, there's people that have taken way more than me, obviously. But I've been in enough airports, and they've all been after 9/11. So just imagine, you guys, the security.
So it's time.
You
It's
guys
time
don't
to.
know.
Time to take a train ride, man. I agree with that. I think, I've seen Murder on the Orient Express, great movie. I assume that, like, if there is a murder on the train, talk about a great story to tell. But even outside of that, great things have happened on trains, like Stagecoach Robbers, Under Siege 2, Polar
Territory.
Express. Like, talk about, those are all conversation starters, right? I mean, lots of great things in cinema have happened on trains and in history, but nothing
The
yet.
little engine that could.
Oh my God, Thomas the Tank.
Yes.
What?
I could join the 3-meter club.
That's weird. Yeah, that's probably not a thing, but you could see things like, hey, I'm gonna go to the dining car. Like, that's not a term you can say ever in your life unless you're on a long train ride. Now, I've ridden trains, but riding from New Jersey to Philadelphia, it's less I'm going to go on the dining car and I'm going to change cars at the next stop so I can avoid the guy who just pissed all over the floor. Like, that's how my train rides normally go. Yeah. So this will be hopefully a very different experience for you.
Yeah, there's always a chance that, like the X-Men could be having a fight on top of it, or the DeLorean could show up on the tracks in front of us. Like, there's a lot of things that could happen.
Yeah, dude. I mean, you don't know. You just don't know. Maybe if your train goes a certain speed, maybe it goes forward in time. I don't know. I can't tell you it's not going to.
Be a terrible way to go is to get run over by the DeLorean as it comes into your time, just out of nowhere. I don't know how they manage that, but that'd be a real shitty way. Like, Marty, we're going to the future, and just a little kid in the prime of his life, just crushed by the DeLorean.
The parents not anticipating anything because there's nothing going on.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, flash of lightning and a car plows over your kid. Yeah. That would be unfortunate because, see, we never think of those things like after, like, we talked about one of those other or the earlier episode where it's like the aftermath of movie occurrences. You have to explain how many times you have to explain to people, like, what happened to your son? How did he pass away? Was it something normal, like that
smallpox
kids pass away from smallpox, right? Something normal, like smallpox or leukemia. And it's like, no. He got hit by a time-traveling DeLorean. People are like, well, what do you mean? Time travel is not possible. Well, turns out this guy named Emmett Brown built like time. Yeah. It's about the flux capacitor. I don't know. I'm just telling you what the police told me. And that's got to be really trying for those people.
And he was out of here. He was in and out.
And then there was this kid, Marty McFly, who was driving it, but I don't even know if he's being negligent. Because he didn't know he was going to pop into this time frame where a child might be playing. So,
Doc, you got to get out of here.
Why? You just murdered a kid, Marty. You're like, Doc, what do you mean? It's like, yeah. Oh, this took a really weird turn.
Yeah. Hey, looking for that new sound? Here it is. I'm dying. That hurted.
Well, listen
what
to
is
this.
That?
Oh, classic Marvin Berry. Classic. But we are just about at that 30-40 minute mark.
Yes. We like to wind it down. Just pop yourself open a can of some NA, and enjoy our recommended words. From
what do we got?
Andy.
Let me log those.
She's got the world record for most words submitted on the pod.
Thank you, Andy.
Pool. Book. Raccoon. Ooh, I see what she's done here. If it's on purpose, I would imagine.
I don't see what she's done, so good for you.
Ooh. Pool. Book.
Oh, double Raccoon. O's.
Double O.
I like how you said it.
Very
Pool,
exciting.
Book.
We got a theme. We got a theme.
You know, really,
All right.
for Strange Fam member of the year, Andy's in a really good spot. I will say that she's in a good spot. Billy is just behind. We got some other people participating, but they're gonna need to up their game. She's really going the extra mile.
Yeah, especially a theme. This might be the high point for the podcast. A set of words that were submitted to have a theme.
our words, suggested words of the episode have a theme. We have peaked.
We're really reaching the people.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what's not important, but somewhat important.
But yeah, the new computer's been good, so start getting some reels out there. You know what? Maybe we'll try a little more outreach before the end of the year. Before I get married and everything, I better start doing this stuff right now. I'm not gonna have time.
Your time's gonna
the missus,
you're gonna have a lot.
It's gonna keep me busy with travel and sex.
Oh yeah, she's like that. She's like that. But that's that's just this is part of what you love about her.
Yeah. So thanks for the follows.
Doubt
everybody.
She's
thanks
listening.
for tuning in.
Doubt she's listening. So just a heads
no,
up.
she doesn't. I don't know why. She just gets awkward when I talk about her.
Yeah.
It's like you can't. I don't know. I get it.
Huh,
it's like she sort of hears her own voice, even though she's not talking. But it's like even though I'm just talking about her.
Right. So now, is there someone that does love you based on the podcast, but now can't love you because of this part of the podcast? So she now is starting to question it because you've already started mentioning her on the podcast, and she's nervous about it, even though she doesn't know yet that she's the person that you're talking about. So.
Oh yeah, there is.
Good night, everybody.
'Cause my attention span